Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. TenZ giving his perspective on the Sentinels roster going into the upcoming season, intended of course to achieve even more than the Sentinels team this season were capable of with TenZ on the roster. Comparing as well Primmie, incredibly talented player in the Pacific region, currently playing for Talon, with Zekken, his own top quality player on the Sentinels lineup. Lots of other things happening on the day as well. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Firstly, we get this from Esports confirming Zeus is joining the roster. This player was linked to a number of teams. There were apparently a few teams interested. Even Fnatic in the early days of Rostermania were potentially linked to him. And of course, eventually there was talk about, well, why are they linked to him? Oh yeah, Durka's gone. And then Kajak, of course, is coming in from Apex. So that seems to be what is happening there. The rumor has it, though, that with Zeus coming in for Esports, that Sentinels, of course, needs an opportunity somewhere, right? 2021 world champion on Ascends. Sentinels been on a couple of different rosters over the last couple of years, Na'Vi for Esports, everything like that. But he's going to need a new direction as well. So Sentinels, the rumor has it, maybe he's going to go to Apex, right? So the team that qualified through Ascension. Maybe Sentinels going to end up on that organization, right? So yeah, interesting to see how these developments go. But Zeus is definitely a talented asset. And look, just another top quality Turkish duelist player with some potential. So that's your announcement from Esports yesterday. These are just like some highlights if you guys are interested from his career and just, you know, Charles and stuff so far. So look, you guys can clearly tell this guy's got the ability. The question is it going to work out on the new roster? And should somebody else have got him instead? It was a possibility. There were other teams linked in, there's no doubt. But we can see some incredibly crisp, clean aim here. And it's kind of relevant to what we're going to discuss as well with Zekken and also Primmie in a second, because, you know, lots of talented duelists and, you know, just players with great mechanics out there in the world right now. Who are the best? Well, it's always kind of tough to say. But yeah, these are some nice clips from Zeus, kind of similar actually to the one that I shared from the rate right at the start of the video. But you guys get the picture, right? A player that Fnatic possibly could have signed. I mean, when they were looking at obviously replacing Durka, there was a thought towards looking at Zeus. At least he was... Apparently they were looking at him at least. There was a report that came out of the Turkish scene that Fnatic had basically done the deal and signed him, like it was pretty much locked in. And then Kojo, Fnatic's top dog in terms of team management, he basically said, yeah, this isn't happening, like we're not signing, or at least that deal is not yet done. Didn't necessarily deny that they were interested. And then when Kajak, of course, you know, they decided to go down that route and said, and I totally get it, but you know, Fnatic could have probably got this player how they wanted to, but having not done that, of course, it opens the door, as it has done, to for Esports taking the opportunity, which just makes way too much sense, I would say, not to go for. So we'll see how he gets on next year, and that is pretty much the end of the highlight package. I guess I'll just play out the final few seconds here, because gone through the other 1 minute 45 seconds, might as well do the final 6 seconds as well. But let's talk about couple of things on Game Changers. This is now nearly concluded. Teams, of course, qualifying for the Game Changers World Championship out there in Berlin. That is already the case for Shopify Rebellion. They've already made it based on their performances and points accrued, but the winner of the grand final will also ensure they lock in, and that is going to come up today. SR versus FlyQuest Red. That is going to be your grand final. Some familiar names and suspects on this one, but let's talk about in the Red Bull Homegrounds event. So we talked about this yesterday. They did a show match as well, and this is going to be relevant because I'll share the clip on what TenZ had to say on Primmie here in a second. It was just a one-map game. They played the Abyss, 13-6 in the end. Jimkin went off, Primmie went off as well, and yeah, 24-11 on the Jet. Entertaining game. Governor was on the other side as well. Monyet was on the other side. So it was cool to see these guys play on this map. But of course, what was more interesting really was the actual matches played. Now, we talked yesterday that T1 were playing Crest Gaming. They did come back and win this map crucially on the bind. So they were down 6-7. They did bring it back. They won the bind. They took down Crest Gaming and they advanced themselves through just about to the bracket play. Once they got there, they then defeated RRQ. So this is what's impressive for T1. They've been getting better and better, and this should be expected, right? This RRQ roster with Kush coming into the lineup, they look pretty impressive. But as I've said, this T1 roster, now they've kind of got their groove a little bit. They are one of the most exciting teams and theoretically the best teams, not just in the Pacific, but potentially in the world. I mean, Stacks, Meteor, Buzz, Sylvanitsu, it's a very exciting roster, I would say, and they do get the dub here. 2-0 versus RRQ, not especially close. 13-3, 13-9. Pretty much demolished them, certainly on their map pick on the Ascent, winning this many offensive rounds. Very impressive indeed. The other side was Zeta versus Detonation Gaming, and Zeta Gaming did the Zeta Division, got the dub here 2-1. Very competitive series. And yeah, we see obviously the talented players on DFM here with a couple of roster changes they've made going into the new season. They are showing some promise as well, but the full Japanese lineup of Zeta just about gets over the line. After losing map 1, they brought it back on the Sunset and then won a very competitive Haven 15-13 at a crazy overtime in the end to get over the line. So yeah, Zeta advanced to the grand finals, and they are currently playing in the grand finals none other than T1, of course. So the winner of this gets through to the Red Bull home grounds, and as it stands, T1 are up 2-1. They won map 1 on Zeta's pick Haven. They then won the Ascent again with a very impressive, again, attacking side, which is incredibly promising, I will say, for their season, because Ascent as a map I don't think is going anywhere, and a map that T1 seem to be pretty damn comfortable on right now. But Sunset went the other way, 13-7. Of course, all these teams are pretty new, to be honest, so how they're going to play on certain maps in competitive, nobody really knows. And currently the binds is just about to get underway, 0-0, T1 versus Zeta. So yeah, can Zeta pull off the reverse sweep? Of course, the balance of probabilities are in favor of T1 holding on here for the victory, and if they do, that's going to be very impressive for them after the way that their group started to come through and win the Red Bull home grounds, hypothetically make it through to the international main event. That's going to be exciting. I think, to be honest, T1 is the team that I want to see there. Like, I want to see how they get on internationally, but I wanted to share what TenZ had to say on Primmie and also on the new Sentinels team in general, how good they might potentially be.
Zekken or Primmie in terms of mechanics? I mean, I think they're both the best of their regions. I think Zach is fucking crazy. Like it's like hard until you put them into like an actual like head-to-head scenario. But in the end, you can have all the talent in the world, but it's the better team that like wins. So you win and lose as a team. Whoever has the better team, whoever plays better. Gen.G is fucking frying. That's the team that's just gonna like have their stars shine the brightest. The stars need to be, or the clouds need to be clear in order for the stars to shine. So if the other players and stuff can't create a situation where you have clear skies where you can fucking watch the stars shine, then it's just GG.
Did you see John QT leak the scrim against Lev? I mean, I did see it, but like that's in true Sentinels fashion, right? That's a tradition that we have. For each new core that's introduced, one of the new members has to leak. Once you leak, you become like a permanent like upstanding member within the Sen society. What do you think of Narrate and Bang on Sen? They're good?
Yo. So high praise for sure from TenZ towards the new roster of Sentinels, but also for Zekken, saying that from like a mechanically gifted perspective, they, you know, those two players are basically best in region. And for Zekken, that's obviously high praise as well, given that TenZ knows a thing or two about being a very mechanically gifted player, certainly playing with one on that roster, and also all the other incredibly talented players in the Americas region. But what about Primmie, right? Because he's only just come into the scene, really. Only like last year towards the end, he gets his opportunity, proves his worth. But for TenZ to say that Primmie is already, as far as he's concerned, one of the, if not the most talented and most gifted mechanical players in that entire Pacific region is very impressive. He's on Talon, we know right now. There was a bit of drama here because Frost, the coach of the team, was basically beefing RRQ Ewok criteria, which I thought was kind of funny actually. So, but it is relevant because obviously Frost is making some of the decisions over there at Talon, and given how talented Primmie is, obviously there will be a thought towards, well, okay, it's time to start delivering results ASAP. There was also some further discussions from TenZ and people talking about TenZ with this point on the bomb sites, the way they're currently designed. Because as I said yesterday, there's many bomb sites such as on Sunset. You plant the spike, you run away. And Abyss, to be honest, has been pretty similar, right? Like, you can't, on some of these maps, really play the bomb sites. So once you get the spike down, you got to just fall back. And Zelsis agrees, says, yeah, this is all right from you. And, look, these are the current maps in the meta. there's only a few bomb sites in the entire game that really playing on the site is actually a viable option, which I think it should be. I think it makes the gameplay better. It's also one of the reasons why I like splits quite a lot, and also Ascent this applies to as well on some level, that you know, you can get site control, you can play on the site, and then they've got to retake you off of the site. I think it makes for a better viewing experience and probably playing experience as well. On Abyss, on Sunset, on Pearl, some of the newer maps, that is obviously less of the case, right? And, you know, I do wonder whether that's going to change. And actually, we saw this from Joey Seamus over at VALORANT. He's the maps design lead, and he just straight up says, yeah, I agree. I think it's fine if a post plant is played for main occasionally, but I don't love how prominent this play pattern is on our maps right now. I'm invested in making it better. So, you know, this is interesting, but I think there is a fair argument to say that of all the maps that this is affecting, Abyss is maybe the worst. I mean, if you play on the site on Abyss, you might just fall off the damn thing, and so therefore you've gotta run away. So I think this is the issue that they run into, is that they try and add new maps in, and when a new map arrives, they want it to be played in the competitive map pool, but it might not be best suited, it might not be great, and I think that's kind of where Abyss is, personally. I know that many of the pros are not especially a fan of it, but yeah, very much into your thoughts, as ever, on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.